Edwards on the drive, goes inside the floor. Turn him over again. Booker scoops it up. Booker brings the boom.
That's right. We are live, bringing the boom one last time for the regular season, right, JC? I think this is our last show. We will not be having a show tomorrow because there is no NBA. We don't normally have Saturday shows, and we don't have them on Sunday. And I'll tell you this. I'll be playing Sunday, but it's going to be a disaster. I don't even know how to do a show for that. It's going to be insane. And it's going to be tough to do a show for today as well with all the news flying, but we will break it down as best as possible for you guys. We have a monster slate. DraftKings, they did decide, hey, we're going to keep a lot of these games on, even though they didn't have to. So we're going from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We got 10 games to discuss. Masters is going on, which is great. We got UFC and NASCAR this weekend, so it's a good time over here at Run Pure. Reggie is also excited. He's looking out the window, looking for winners. So, JSU, how you doing?
Yeah, I think he's actually looking for his friend, my neighbor, dog. But maybe he's looking outside for some winners as well. You never know. But it's a good sports day. This slate is going to be wild. How about yesterday with my boy Ant Edwards, Superman, is in the building, baby. It's my boy Ant right there. Might as well just rename him, re-nickname him. It's my guy, big game hunter, Ant. Just said, John Morant, you can get 35, but I'm just going to go for 40 plus. How about that, Ja? So,
he doesn't. Ant, I love Ant, but he doesn't have as good of a celebration as Ja. I mean, when you don't need
a better celebration when he's owning them on the court. He's got friggin' how much did he have in the third quarter? Whatever. He was owning them. So don't worry about it, Ja. You can have the grenade celebrations and all that stuff. Ant's just, he's going to own you on the court. So you win the celebrations. Ant wins the games. I'm good with it. So, that was a good night. Play of the day, too. Craig Porter came through. That was nice. Nice cheap play, too, we talked about. So, man, going. I mean, this slate, like, I'm prioritizing outside of just, like, the elite studs that you're going to easily be able to get because of how much value there is on the slate. I'm prioritizing guys that don't normally get the run that we can kind of push into our lineups. I'm trying to stay away from the secondary guys that are still like, guys that the team's going to need. Maybe it's not for a ton of minutes, but for even just bench minutes, I want to prioritize the guys after them, unless we get a spot like the Pelicans where it's like 8 dudes, like last night, man, like the Pelicans just smashed, like multiple Pelicans smashed. If you didn't play Pelicans, a lot of those guys crushed, but like, unless we get those spots, I just want to look for the guy, like, again, like we get another spot with the Pacers, like Thomas Bryant, Tony Bradley. Like, I'm going to probably prioritize Tony Bradley as opposed to Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant's gotten his shots. I think these games are meant more for the next guy in line. So that's what I'm looking at and building. So, yeah, Big Ed said, appreciate it, Big Ed. Thanks for the advice. Built and won $400 on FD. Continue to give the great info. We try, Big Ed. We'll try tonight. I'll say this slate, yesterday's slate was going like 5 games?
Yeah.
Completely different when you got 10 games. You've got so many more avenues for plays in this spot, but we'll try. It's definitely a tougher slate, I feel like, than yesterday.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to narrow it down. We'll do our best to do it. Also, I do on these slates value like later news and ownership just because the ownership will be lower. There's not good plays early. I do think there is a lot of value to that. And you can have combinations.
Don't lie to the people. You're just waiting for that grenade out star where you're like, yes, I caught it. No one else is on it. And like you're
it's
loading
good.
up the boat on Denver or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, not to say these early values won't be good, because there will be good early values that I will be playing, but I'd rather be heavier on the later ones, right? Whatever they are, I don't know what they're going to be, but I'll find out. I'll figure it out. There's going to be so many plays later on. We'll break it all down for you guys. We'll go game by game, and also sometimes on these slates, there's just so much value that it's just easy to play like Jokic, right? Like you just kind of plug him in and you call it a day. Like there's some guys in spots where like they're clearly playing and pushing. So that's something else to kind of monitor. Like a good example is like Evan Mobley. Like I know he's in a good spot, but are they really going to run him out there that much? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's stuff we'll talk about as we kind of go through it all. Like it's really deciphering these studs versus each other, I think matters a ton on this slate. Like I said yesterday, and I think it proved to be true. We like those studs in that Memphis game because it was a playoff game, right? We knew those guys would do well. I saw Desmond Bane have a huge game, and Edwards. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I think that's a key point that we'll discuss as we go through the entire slate. All right, let's dive in, JC. Unless you got anything else to talk about.
Nah, my mom is calling me right now, man. Going, I got mama calling me though.
Yeah. I called mom a couple days ago, and she was wondering why I was calling. I was like, I was calling just to talk, to be a good son. So I was just trying to be a good son.
That's man, go. That's what I tried to do like 30 minutes ago. Before my show.
Yeah.
Answer. Now she's gonna leave me a voicemail and tell me how she's sorry that she missed my phone calls, and she knows I'll call her back though. Don't worry, Ma. I'll call you back after the show.
Yeah, for sure. Mrs. JSU, you'll get a phone call after the show. JSU will help you out.
She knows.
Yeah, she knows. I'm sure she's seen the shows at times, or Dad's seen the shows.
But she knows. She knows.
All right. My mom has seen him in the past, but I don't know. She'll watch here and there occasionally. You never know, but she's not watching today. I feel.
Yeah, once in a while, but she's not watching like on a daily basis.
No, not at all. All right, let's get into the games. First one up, and I'll admit, there's so much injury news today. If I miss one injury, my apologies. There's just so much flying around. But
you should just tell me who's in.
Yeah, I know, right? It's
literally just tell me who's in.
I'm going through the Basketball Monster page, so I'm just reading it all. So I got Cade Cunningham, he's probable, and Tobias Harris, he's off injury. It looks like he's playing. Ron Harper questionable, Dennis Jenkins and Tolo Smith, they are questionable. So Detroit fairly healthy, right? They are pushing for they're pushing, I think, because they can go a little bit higher. We do have in the Discord, if you're looking at playoff scenarios, I'll try and go through those, but the Pistons have the ability to be a 5 or a 6 seed right now. So they still have the ability to move a little bit. Isaiah Stewart is out. I should call that out. Milwaukee side, Giannis is probable. Dame is out. Jericho Sims and Tyler Smith. Again, they're in a similar situation. Like a lot hinges on this game. I don't know how much they care about 5 or 6. It doesn't matter for, it doesn't truly matter for an actual home playoff game, but it matters for the seeding. Are you playing the Pacers? Are you playing the Knicks? The kind of counter of not really understanding what to do is Knicks and Pacers can switch to 3 or 4. So who knows who each combo is going to play. So I just think they're going to play the game normal and kind of call it a day, and then they're going to rest on Sunday, mainly because Sunday's just not a day to really play, guys, unless you really want a certain seed or a spot, and not all those teams always care about that. JSU, it seems like this is mainly a spot to maybe play Cade and Giannis and just move on. What about you?
Yeah, again, like you don't need to overthink it on these spots, right? Like if Giannis is in, which I was surprised he played yesterday, so I assume he's probable he's going to play. You can play him, like he's a fine play. I don't think that they're going to push his minutes, but you never know, because I do believe that all of these teams are resting their stars on Sunday, right, Mangone? Like I don't think anyone is risking it on Sunday unless they have to, unless they're in the West and they're playing in that massive little clump of like play in, or play out type of scenario, which I don't even know if we'll have. I assume we'll have a couple teams, but Maybe not.
I think they're playing these games kind of normal, just as like a dress rehearsal and then like a decision. Like, oh, if we have the ability to make a decision of what
Right.
seed we want on Sunday, we can make a decision, right?
But my point is like Golden State, Memphis, Minnesota. These teams are all 47 and 33. Two of them are right now in the play-in situation. One of them is not. So if by Sunday they get into a spot where if one wins and one loses, they could jump out of the play-in, I do think they're going to play. But unless they're in that scenario, that type of scenario, I don't think people are risking it on Sunday.
No, they're not. So
Yeah.
those are going to be the three teams that like clear. Oh, not just those three. There's a lot of teams pushing, right? We'll talk about the West situation as we get to it, but as of right now, I'll say it while we get to each team. But basically, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Warriors, Memphis, and Timberwolves, they can either get to a 3 or 4 or go all the way down to an 8. So it's like an insane range of outcomes what can happen. So all those teams like are probably pushing their studs, you would assume, because there's a big difference between being a 5 seed and an 8 seed, right? Like it's massive. And even obviously 4 and 3, and there's so many outcomes. So we'll obviously, we'll break it all down for you as we kind of go game by game.
But this game, I just don't know how you play anyone other than the stars, really.
Yeah, just Cade and Giannis and move on.
Cade and Giannis, move on. I think that's the way I would approach it. Not to say that there aren't guys that can't crush. It's just I think it's a clear spot, man, going, why talk too much about it other than the studs? I don't see many other plays.
I will call out, like, KBJ had 40, I don't know if you saw this, he had 47 DK points in 23 minutes. I'm not expecting him to replicate that, but the dude is a pretty elite fantasy producer, so, like, you could get away with something like that, but when you look at the slate...
Can I just say, though, he was playing against the third unit of the Pelicans, and like the entire third unit of the Pelicans, not even the second unit of the Pelicans. This was the third and fourth unit of the Pelicans that he was playing against. So
it's just like, I'm just pointing out, I don't know how he's doing all this. He did it against the Timberwolves too. Like, he's just doing insane stuff. So
yeah, and I liked KPJ yesterday. I had him high on the slate builder. Like, I thought he was a good play, mainly because, though, not just about like one, I didn't think even if Giannis played, he was going to play full minutes.
Sure.
Obviously, they didn't need him to because it was a blowout. And I also thought, like, he was going to get easy buckets. Like, that's what KPJ does. Like, easy matchups, easy buckets. He's going to produce. Like, but, what he's doing in 23 minutes, is that sustainable? Like you said, I don't know if it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. He is 5,200, but, maybe you could add him in if you're playing a lot of lineups.
For sure. Let's get to the next game. Let's get to this is a premier game that locks. It is Pacers and Orlando Magic. We have to discuss it, and I've got some different takes versus the projections. We'll see if I'm right by the end of the night. But let's go through injuries first. So I'm going to go by each team. We're doing Pacers first. Probable is Ray J. Dennis, Enrique Freeman. Out is Halliburton. Jackson's probable, and then Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner. They are all out. So basically they're starting 5 and their bench guy in Mathurin, who's like their 6th man. He is out. Ben Shepherd is doubtful. I'm assuming he is going to be out. So here I'm going to count the players on the Pacers. TJ McConnell, who I currently see at 42% owned. Actually, Benedict Mathurin is in. I thought he was out. That's my apologies. I read that wrong. So Benedict Mathurin is in. Obi Toppin, Thomas Bryant, Jerice Walker, Tony Bradley, Quentin Jackson, Furphy, James Johnson, Freeman, and RJ Dennis Jr. So they technically have 11 guys. Not an 8-man rotation like the Pelicans, like we talked about the other day. We know Rick Carlisle can mess around with rotations. TJ McConnell and Benedict Mathurin. I'm a little skeptical of those plays. I think they have the ability to crush in just a half at those price tags and the usage they're going to see. I do like Obi Toppin. I think he's a pretty good play. I'm just a little nervous about the Pacers, JSU. It's a big slate. A lot of news will be flying. I don't know. Is TJ McConnell going to play 30-plus minutes tonight? I don't think so. He's like
The good thing is he doesn't need to play 30 minutes.
I know he doesn't, but I
and
don't
on
know.
top of it,
The
they
point
don't
I'm
have a
getting at,
ton
JC,
of
is these
ball
are.
handlers.
I know, but you are right about that. They don't have ball handlers. Like,
Yeah.
if you had to pick the ball
I'm
handler,
worried more about Mathurin.
yeah. But like, why would they play? Why would they play? They never played TJ McConnell 30 minutes. You think they're going to do it tonight?
No, I don't, but I don't think they need to. I think they're going to play him like 24, 25 minutes. I think the minutes projection might be wrong, but I don't think he's not going to play. Like for me though, again, this spot, like I want to play Jarris Walker. I think he's a good play.
Agreed.
I think Tony Bradley over Thomas Bryant. The projections don't say that, but I think that'll be the case. They'll probably split center minutes, to be honest with you, but
Yeah.
I'll still take Tony Bradley at the projected ownership and stuff like that. I think Quentin Jackson could play a lot, Mangone, in this spot.
He could.
The other guy I'm a little worried about is Obi. Because Obi is he's like Benedict Mathurin. They're like rotational guys. They're like actual rotational guys.
So
they're
is
not
TJ.
guys that
They both are. They're both rotation guys. So is Obi. All three are rotation. All three are rotation playoff guys.
The problem with TJ is very rarely is TJ playing next to Tyrese Halliburton. So like my point is, down the stretch of a playoff game, if Obi Toppin was playing, I wouldn't be stunned. I wouldn't be stunned if they went small and played Obi and Pascal.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I wouldn't be stunned if Benedict Mathurin played down the stretch over, Neesmith or Nemhard or whoever. TJ McConnell, I would be kind of shocked if, like, down the stretch of playoff games, he was, like, playing over those guys, all those guys. It's probably not going to happen because he doesn't play as much with Tyrese Halliburton.
Sure. So would you be
shocked? Know what I'm saying?
I agree. Would you be shocked if TJ McConnell did not start tonight? Because I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked they kept him in this same exact role.
But if that happened, Mangone, that's already telling you something.
What's it telling you?
It's telling you that he's not playing that many minutes. He's going to play his normal amount of minutes.
That's how I feel. I feel like he'll play his normal role, even though, yes, there's no Siakam and there's no Halliburton. He's still
who do you think starts? Who do you think starts in that scenario? Just play that scenario out.
I think they would at the point guard spot only, or the whole starting.
Well, no, the whole starting play the scenario out though that they don't actually start their best five.
I think it's one of Quentin Jackson or RJ Dennis. Probably Quentin Jackson starts at the 1. Then they go at the 2. They probably go 2 or 3. They go Benedict Mathurin, Jarris Walker at the 3 likely. The 4 would be Toppin. The 5 would be Bryant.
Okay. Yeah. I got no issue with that. Yeah. And if that happens, I think that just makes Quentin Jackson a better play.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying with this game, like, that's what I currently see ownership-wise. And, like, dude, this is a slate where there's going to be so much insane value.
So much.
And I just don't want to wait. I don't want to, like, blow my load on 60 or 50 or 80% TJ McConnell in my MME formats when there's all these good plays later on that I could get to and in other spots. Like, I would rather be either even with the field or underweight, and I'll probably be underweight. I just think there's going to be really good spots all around. Again, nothing wrong with TJ McConnell. I get it. He's too cheap. I get all the points you're making. I'm just a little worried about that. We'll see as we get closer and we get starting lineups. That's one great reason to be in the Discord chat, of course. Let's get to the other side, JSU, because there is a lot to talk about. Again, this is a marquee game when it comes to DFS, just to discuss.
The guys I like are Goga and Anthony Black. I think that, well, the reason I like Goga is because they're thin. They're thin with the bigs. They just don't have that many. So I don't see a ton of guys that are just going to play minutes over him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hold on. To Steve, to your point, they may want to like Obi and TJM to boost their confidence. If you told me that and they were getting like 30 plus minutes tonight, I would be all in on them, right? But I don't truly know that. And at their current ownerships of like 30, 40%, and so many other plays that might pop up that are 5%, I think it's worth being a little bit lower on these guys. That's kind of the reasoning. Now, if the starting lineup comes out and TJ's starting, like that could change my opinion, but that's kind of the take. Like these are guys that could be bench guys that end up being like just 40 or 50% on a slate.
I think I might make a rule like max 2 Pacers.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Because it's going to give you more. So I like making that rule, I think is, and honestly, I think I might make a rule max 2 from the Magic because it's going to give you some magic. So like making those rules, I think is going to make you somewhat different on a slate where there's so much value. I think those are good rules to make. But going back to my point, like right now, Goga, Cole Anthony, Tristan Da Silva, Corey Joseph, who I don't like, Anthony. I think the guys I want to be over on are Goga, Anthony Black, top 2, and then after that I'd go Da Silva, Cole Anthony, 3, 4.
Okay, can I draw a scenario out for you just to, because I know this is going to happen. Between the 3 guards, Cole Anthony, Anthony Black, and Corey Joseph, one of them will not start. Corey Joseph will probably start, and then I assume Cole Anthony or Anthony Black will start. One is 5-1, one is 4.4K, and I'll just call this out, JSU. You like Anthony Black? I think he's the bench guy, and
good.
Is that what you want? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's what I want. It's because it's going to keep his ownership down.
It definitely will.
Because I think right now, too, Mangone, I think there's like a glimmer of hope that he could start. But once that starting lineup comes out and they see it, people are just going to be like, all right, give me Cole Anthony. Like just give me Cole Anthony. It's fine. So give me the talented young dude who I trust even off the bench. I think they're going to play 30 minutes. So, and he's getting up and he's going to get to play against the, like I said, probably like the third team of the Pacers when he gets in. Give me that guy.
I like Anthony and Black. I definitely don't have a strong take on it yet of what I want to do. But I don't disagree with it. Could just be Anthony.
Dude, point guard's loaded again. Absolutely loaded.
And that's another reason I really like Goga. So here's the other thing. I know center's loaded, and we might need to just spend up on the raw points on Jokic, and then that leaves you with only one more spot for center. Dude, Goga 3,400 in this spot in a revenge game. I mean, I'm kind of interested. And if you look at this team, it's not just that, JSU. You mentioned this with Alexander Sarr on one of the slates not too long ago. Dude, they do not have big men today. Like, they have no big men. The only big man on this roster is Goga. The next one is Jonathan Isaac, who is clearly a playoff guy, and they never give him that many minutes. Like, who on earth plays the 5 besides Jonathan Isaac? It's going to be Goga for at least 30 minutes. He might even hit 40 tonight, JSU, as long as he keeps his hands to himself.
I think Goga and Jokic are locks. I just think they're locks. So it's a double setter night probably for me, but yeah.
I'm with you. Goga, I think, is the best play in this game. Like, I think he is no doubt.
I agree.
Okay, so we're arm in arm on that one. That makes a lot of sense. And I just wanted to point out, and I know, yes, it's late season NBA. Could Tristan Da Silva play the 5 at times? Yes, he could. But the point being is Goga's going to play a ton at the 5 as long as he is not getting into foul trouble. I don't see anyone else that could play center.
Yeah, Jonathan Isaac will probably play some 5.
Yeah, but he's not going to play that. He'll play a little, right? But he's a playoff guy. Like, he does matter. He's not a nobody for this team. And they always monitor his minutes, right? He never plays.
Yeah, he never plays big minutes.
And he's not going to play big minutes in the second to last game of the season. Like, it's just, this lines up for an amazing Goga spot. And I know, yes, he has ownership, and someone's watching. They're like, you've talked enough about Goga. I'm trying to hammer it home because I think he's that good of a play. Like, I don't want to overlook it on this slate.
Hey, he's not projecting as the highest owned guy on his own team. So
I know. He's around 32%. I'm seeing, and Cole Anthony's a little higher. It's because of position, shooting guard and point guard for Cole Anthony. But I just wanted to kind of call it out. Here's another question I'll ask you, JC. We clearly like Goga, Black, and Anthony. Anyone else in the Magic you like? Because I could make an argument, I think, for Tristan Da Silva. But other than that, I think you're just like, I think you're making a mistake playing any of these guys unless they start, if that makes sense.
Yes. Here's the thing. I think I like the Pacers forwards better than I do Tristan da Silva,
Okay.
but he would be the only guy I'd make the case for after those three.
Yep. I'm with you on that. All right, let's keep moving along. Last game in the 7:00 window, Atlanta and the Philadelphia 76ers. Definitely a game we got to discuss. Here's the news we got so far. On the Atlanta side of the ball, topping out Trae Young probable. Atlanta's basically got their same team. Nothing really going to change too much. I will call out the Atlanta Hawks. They can go from 8, 9, or 10. So there's a wide range of outcomes of where they could be. And when you're in the 7, 8, 9, 10 spot, there's a big difference between being the 8 seed and the 9 seed and the 10 seed, right? So Hawks definitely want to play to win. They probably will win. They're playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who are clearly tanking. Here, I'll talk about the Hawks real quick. So, and then I'll go to you, JSU. I think you can make a case as a stud spend for a Trae Young or an Okongwu. Okongwu only center eligibility really hurts on DK. He's got power forward eligibility on the other site we won't name. That helps a little bit. And then Dyson Daniels is a guard you could play as well as like a spend up. I know Zachariah Rishishair was a winner yesterday. I didn't really expect him to have a huge game, but JC, I don't want to load up on these Hawks. It's really just, hey, these three studs are interesting. If they fall that way, they fall that way, but they're not priorities. Is that kind of your take on Atlanta?
That's 100% my take. I probably won't get to this game. Philly, okay. I'm definitely going to probably stay away from.
All right, why are you staying away from Philly? Why don't we talk about it? Because Justin Edwards is questionable, Grimes questionable, Alex Reese questionable. And if those guys are out, maybe your opinion changes, but at least touch on that.
Right. So one, I think if Grimes plays, it's going to be today, not Sunday.
Okay.
I think. So I think I give him a better shot to play today. Justin Edwards, I think he's a little more iffy because he was actually out. You know what I mean? He's not like Grimes where he's questionable, but he's not really hurt. So I think Justin Edwards is a little more iffy for me. But like the Jared Butler, Jeff Doughton, like if Grimes is in, all these guys, they're playing like 28 minutes. The price tags are up. I really like this Jeff Doughton kid too. I think he's a good player. It's very inconsistent. His minutes are not where I'd like him to be, and I think there are better value plays. So that could change if Quentin Grimes is ruled out, and I'm wrong. Right now, I'm going to go under the feeling that he does play. Adem Bona's been really good, but he's 6K now. Like I don't feel like I gotta play 6K Adem Bona.
Sure.
And then
I'll say this: Bona could go for 40, 50 DK points, and it wouldn't shock me against the Hawks today.
Yeah, he could do that, but I'm just saying 6K. I think I rather some guys below him or go all the way up. So it's just not for me. But again, Quentin Grimes could change things. We'll see what happens with him. We'll get the news before lock and can adjust from there. But yeah, right now I'm lower on this game. There's so many good spots on this slate. Let's not try and overthink it and push other spots in if we don't think they're up to par with these other games. And that's what I'm trying to do here. We've got some clear spots where there's massive values and studs, and I want to be on those spots. There's 10 games. I'm going to let everyone else overthink these spots. I will not.
Yep, I tend to agree with you on that. Last thing I'll mention with this game, great reason to sign up and be a member because we can break it down easier in the Discord chat, right? Like it's really hard to do without the Grimes news and the Edwards news. Yeah, a Butler could be an even better play. A Doughton could. Starting lineups are going to matter, so
listen, Rishishair could be a good play again. Like he could be, but is he going to shoot 15 for 20 from the field? Is he going to shoot 6 for 11 from 3? I'm going to bet no. And he could totally prove me wrong and go out there and drop 50 again. He's a good player. I just don't know if he's like consistent like that yet. We'll see. I don't
Yeah,
think he is.
with you on that. We've been on for 30 minutes, JSU. If you could hit the like, we'd appreciate it. Right, halfway point. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, find out when the MMA show is tomorrow, and all the other content here at Run Pure Sports. Is it a good card? Is it the Chandler card, or is that next?
Oh, it's a good card, man. Going a lot of good card, a lot of live dogs. It's a great card.
Okay, I might maybe I'll. Is it a pay per view?
Oh yeah, pay per
Okay,
view. Yeah, two 5-round fights.
all right, maybe
Lot of like closely lined fights too. So it's
okay.
not just like a bunch of like. There's some big favorites, obviously. There always is, but like it's one of those fights where you got a lot of real live dogs.
I'll look into it. Maybe I'll have people over to watch. We'll see. I had friends wanting to do something.
If you got friends that like MMA, it's a really good card.
I have friends that like MMA, but they are like when they want to watch, they're always like, "Who's the main fight?" Right? Like that's what like they need.
Well,
They
you
need.
have them over for the main event, like the 5 final.
I know they need to, but like they need to be interested in like the top 2 or 3 fights on the card. Like if they don't,
they will be say Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez and Michael Chandler and Patty Pimblett.
Okay,
they'll be interested.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if they know
Big
I'm watching,
names.
if they know I'm watching the fight and they're like, who's the card? And I'm like, what's her name? Rosa's Nami, whatever. Like they're like, I'll watch another fight another weekend. Like they're not interested in that. So
there are a few chick fights, but honestly, the chick fights are actually kind of dope.
I know. I'm just stating in order to get them to watch, it has to the card has to have.
I got you.
That's all.
I got you.
Speaking of,
that's right, Jake. That's right, baby. Craig Porter. Nope, wrong one. Craig Porter did it for us last night. Got a galaxy brain a little.
Even AP was in the Discord chat touting it up. I was confused. I thought he was starting because he said it was Porter Jr.'s season, and I was like, wait, is he starting? He's like, no, we don't have the lineup yet. So, question: the Pels were chalk last night, and now we have Raptors who players are in better positions. We'll talk about that as we get to it. We're going game by game. Mr. Don. Don play, it's still FU. I don't even know what that means, but we're happy to have you here. So we'll get to it. We're going game by game, and we're going to catch up real quick here, JSU. Hornets, Celtics. I'll go through the injuries, and then we can move on from the game. Jaylen Brown is out. Holiday, Horford, Porzingis, Tatum, White. They're all off injury. Miles Bridges is out. Diabate is questionable. Green is out. Okogie and Mark Williams in. This is a full fade to me. You look at SaberSim, our partner. Their highest owned guy in this game is Jason Tatum at 2%, and everyone else has no ownership. I'm fading this game. How about you?
Yeah, Jason Tatum's the only guy I would think about, and it's just because he's going to be low owned and he's a stud, and you're going to have money to spend. But that's it. That would be the only play. I don't see a reason to talk too much about these two teams because there's really not much going on. I do think Boston's going to play this game kind of serious, Mangone. I think the next game they're going to totally take off. So
if you play Tatum, JSU, if you're an MME guy, max like 5%. Like he's going to be not even owned. That's all I'm calling out. Like I think it's very important that you don't waste the ownership on studs on that. So
I agree.
All right. Next game up. Cleveland, New York Knicks, which this game has implications for the playoff scenarios. Knicks could be the 3 or 4. They're going to play the game fairly normal. Let's go through the injury situation on the Knicks side of the ball. Who are they missing? Questionable on OG, Brunson, and Hart. Bridges, Robinson in. Cat is also questionable. That's the Knicks side. I'll tell you this. This situation is basically impossible to break down without this news. If they sit all their guys, Bridges would clearly get – actually, Bridges wouldn't get a bump. Bridges would just be playing because of the starter streak. And because he's actually available, that makes me think these guys are all out, and then Bridges is going to play 2 or 3 minutes, maybe even a whole quarter, and then he's done for the game. So if you can get a live line on his unders, I think that's a really sharp idea. I don't think they'll offer him because they've gotten killed on it before in the past. So from there, Miles McBride, Campaign, Precious Achiuwa, all 3 of those guys would be really strong plays, and they're going to play a lot of minutes. They do have guys like Tyler Kolak, Boyd Champ, Anton Watson. Like they have DeLon Wright. Got to figure out who's called up. We'll obviously iron that out as we get closer, but that's a decision to make a little bit later. It's hard to make that decision now. Cleveland side of the ball, I'll admit, I'm not that interested in Mobley, Garland, and Allen. I do think they're going to kind of mail it in with them and have them just play a little bit in the first half and then kind of quit in the second and just play Javonte Green and Jalen Tyson and Craig Porter Jr. So for me, JSU, I'm pretty much out on this game. I do like Max Strus a little bit. But he could also be a playoff guy they don't get to. Maybe it'll be a Craig Porter Jr. that should get a boost. But on such a good slate with so many good values, instead of a spot where they have these starters and they might mix and match guys, I'd rather just stay away. So for me, it's mainly the Knicks side based on how the news falls. I'll figure it out from there, and I'll be in the Discord chat ranking that stuff if you guys need it. But what's your thoughts, Chase?
Yeah, the Knicks side, you can't really, until you figure out if these guys are out, which I agree with you. If they are out, Bridge is probably a no-go for me. Just get a few minutes. The guys that probably play, like Precious Achiuwa, I think would be a good play. I think it could be a Tyler Kolak spot if he's there and available. I'd want to wait for that, but yeah, I don't see much else from the Knicks right now until we get the news. If all these guys are in too, Mangone, like I don't need to play any of these guys. But if I did, it would be like the studs, clearly.
Yeah.
And then on the Cleveland side, I'm kind of surprised that Garland and Mobley are even playing in this game.
Same.
That's kind of a shocker to me, but I probably won't get to them. I do think you could play Craig Porter. I will say though, on this slate, like there's so much more value on this slate, so it's a little more thin on this slate. But if you have 150 lineups, I'd keep them in the pool. I'm not playing any other Cleveland guys though. I don't think they're going to play their main guys big minutes, and I think it's kind of a stay away other than the few guys I talked about.
Yep, agree on that, JSU. Let's get to the Bulls and the Washington Wizards. Man, Josh Giddey the other night. I mean, I didn't expect that against the Miami Heat, right? It was impressive. We already had a Chicago Bulls rant and talk radio the other day. We won't do it again.
Play Josh Giddey. Play him. If
he's a good
play him.
He's a good play today if he's in. Kobe White, you can make a case for him. Vucevic as well. Just any stud against the Wizards could make sense today. So I am interested in those guys. I'm not interested in the other pieces, right? The Hurters, the Collins, the Bazelis. So it's load up on Giddey, and then Vucevic and White are fine in tournaments. Wizards side of the ball, this is still a good matchup against the Bulls. Honestly, Justin Champagnie's been awesome. I know the price is up at 5.7, but he's been like printing. I still think he's in play. I don't need to have a lot of exposure, but a good last guy in that's going to be not even owned. I know you could make the argument maybe it's not the right slate. Man, he just keeps going and smashing, and I'm interested. I think next slate he might even be like 6.3. It wouldn't shock me if on Sunday slate he ended up being at that price tag. Alexandre Sarr, centers deep. He's fine. You could easily do it, but I think I prefer other options. And then I know we talked about Carlton Carrington with Rubio. I talked about all the shot attempts he has. He is now 6'2". He's certainly fine, but I prefer other guard values that we've discussed and that are going to open up. That's kind of the breakdown, JSU. I think it's mainly Giddey and then a little bit of Champagnie, and you could splash some of these plays here and there. Tell me who you're looking at in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Champagnie's the only guy from Washington I was thinking about, so we agreed there. And the Chicago side, I think it's mainly Giddey. Like I don't want to think too much more than that. The only thing that sucks with Giddey is he's only point guard eligible, but he's the clear play if he's in for me. And I don't see a ton else. Like you said, I don't want to pay for Sarr. Bub's at a price where I don't need to go there. Yeah, I don't see a lot here. So, Vucevic, they're not really giving a ton of minutes to. I'm probably just out on the rest of this game here. AG said just came in. You guys on TJ. Mangone was reluctant, I think, with TJ. And I'm good with TJ. I like TJ, but.
Yeah, I'm reluctant because of the ownership, and I still think he could come off the bench and just like play his 20 to 25 minutes. And could he get there at that price? Yes, he could. KPJ dropped 48 yesterday in 23 minutes. That would not surprise me. TJ McConnell did it, but I'm just a little cautious because of his current ownership. And there's like Miles McBride opens up or Campaign as a starter. Like they're going to be insane plays, right? Like, so I'm just saying I'm either going to be max even with the field or probably underweight. Sure, I'll have some exposure, but I need to see if he is starting. I don't know if he's starting. So, AG, you said, is he starting? We don't know yet, right? And I personally think there's routes where he doesn't start. That's just my opinion. There's routes where I think he could start as well. We'll have to see what they decide to do. All right. You're done with the Wizards and Bulls, JSU?
Yeah, not much to go on there.
Yeah, we were pretty aligned on that. We've been aligned on some stuff, for sure. Quick on some of these games. We're going to breeze through some of them that we have to. Like I said, Charlotte and Boston, we moved past quickly. Let's get to the injury news on the actually, I should mention the Wizards injury news. Bay, Gill, Holmes, Middleton, and Poole, they are all out. Smart and JT Thor, they are in. And then Bulls, I said Giddey was questionable. Jalen Smith is probable. Ball, Jones are out. And Dallin Terry, questionable. All right, Miami, New Orleans. I'll go through the injuries on the Miami side of the ball. Burks, Hero, Highsmith, Duncan Robinson, Wiggins. They are all in. Questionable, Isaiah Stevens out. Jovic, Larson, and Kevin Love. That's the Miami side of the ball. We'll break it down. They're playing the Pelicans. They need to win this game. Playoff position-wise, it's important. They're either going to be the 8, 9, or 10 seed. So they're playing to win this game. Bam Adebayo 9-5, Tyler Hero 9-3. They're certainly in play. They could easily go off against the Pelicans. They're terrible. Wiggins could do well. I think it's mainly looking at the studs, and then don't really need to play the values. There's better values throughout the slate. Pelican side of the ball. Guys that are in and out. Alvarado, questionable. I'm kind of assuming he's out just because I think the Pelicans are quitting for the season. Brown, Hawkins, they are out. Maktovic, questionable. Misi, Elinik out. And then there's a note on Elf Payton. It looks like he's got a standard contract with the Pelicans. I think I don't see him. Yeah, he's in the projection. So it looks like he'll be good to play. Their current lineup right now, or I should say the current guys projected on the team, Makovic, Alvarado, Reeves, Brooks, Earl, Payton, Quinones, Kane, and Kyler Kelly. That's 9 guys. If Maktovic and Alvarado are both out, they'd only have 7 guys.
No, so what's happening is Alvarado is only questionable because of Makovic. So if Makovic is out, Alvarado plays.
Agreed.
Probably doesn't play a lot, but does play.
So they basically have 7 guys, JC. Like there's a scenario where if
Makovic is in, then I think Alvarado's out and they have 8, but I think it's just going to come down to if Makovic is actually in. So that's what's happening there.
I'm just stating if Makovic does sit and Alvarado's in, dude, he could actually not even start and maybe only play a couple minutes. And then they're actually really only have 7
I think
guys.
Even if he starts, he probably doesn't play that much. Or he's going to play less than all these other guys, which makes all these other guys better plays.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. So, I could just see people at the end of the night seeing Alvarado only play 6 to 12 minutes, and then they go man, they only had 7 guys basically. Why wasn't I playing more of them? So, something to call out. I think my favorite plays in this game will be, obviously, if Maktovic's in, I'll like him, but it's probably right now, without the questionable guys in consideration, for me, it's Reeves, Elf Payton, and then JRE. That's kind of my top 3. JSU, talk about the Pelicans and talk about the Heat.
Yeah, I think I like JRE just because, especially if Makovic is out, because they're going to be so thin with the bigs. And then I like Reeves with you, and I think Kane and this Quinones kid, Lester, are both interesting. So those are kind of the guys that I want. I'm probably not going to go for Elf. I think point guard's just so friggin' loaded that I don't need to get the Elf. I'm going to go with these other wings and bigs. I will say also if Makovic is out and you get Kyler Kelly starting, not a great matchup, but he's 3,100, so I'll throw him in there too. But JRE, Reeves, Quinones, Kane, those are the 4 guys I like the most.
Yep, I think that's a good call. And Nick, I feel confident that's the situation we have going on. I think we could have 7 Pels. It's end of the season. They've gone through so many of their contracts. I assume they're just out of contracts to really give and just they're trying to limp through the finish line. So I know it's not typically a matchup we like to target with the Heat, but they're just don't have a lot of guys. So we're going to have some.
I will say, too, this is one of those spots, Mango, and you said the Heat need to play. Bam Adebayo should dominate this matchup here. So you're going to look at 9,500. I don't know what his ownership's coming in at. It's probably, I would assume it's kind of low, even though we have a ton of value. Yeah, like 12% right now on SaberSim. I think Bam Adebayo is an extremely good play. If God forbid if this game stays close and he gets like full run on top of it, like he is gonna smash. So I like Bam as a stud. He's probably my favorite Heat.
I wouldn't be
Overall.
shocked if in the first half Bam Adebayo had like 25 points, 10 rebounds, and like 3 assists. Like it just wouldn't shock
me at all.
Nope. Yeah, I'm interested in the studs on the Heat and then the values on the Pelicans. I'll figure out how to mix and match them. Another reason I think, hey, backloading is not the worst thing, and we got tons of games to talk about coming up that got some value. Toronto and Dallas. Someone in the chat was asking about that. Let's go to the Dallas situation. They could be the 9 seed or the 10 seed. So the difference between a home playoff game and a road playoff game. So I guess a playing game, not playoff game. You get what I'm saying, though. But all right, let's talk about it. So Dallas, we could probably breeze through them pretty quick. Here's their injury situation. 80 is probable. Dinwiddie, Exum, Hardy, Clay, all questionable. Obviously, news that matters. There's a note on Brandon Williams. I think he got a multi-year contract, so it sounds like they locked him up. Mavericks. I think AD's in play. PJ and Najee, they're in play, but like there's just better plays. They're more last guys in. And I think that's really it, Jay. So obviously if Clay, Dinwiddie, Hardy, and Exum all sit, that could change my opinion on some stuff. But it's really just AD as a stud and maybe mix and match the Washingtons or Najee Marshalls. Talk about Dallas, and then we'll talk about Toronto separately after that.
Yeah, Dallas for me, I think it's mainly just going to be like Anthony Davis. I don't think I'm going to get to some of these other guys. They do have other questionable guys, so depending on what happens with them, it could make me interested in others. You know what I mean? Like what happens with Spencer, their guard situation in general, right? What happens? They got Jaden Hardy, who's questionable, Spencer, who's questionable, Dante, who's questionable, Clay, who's questionable. That's a ton of guards right there, man, going. We know they're stacked with the bigs. It's the guard situation that could be interesting. If a bunch of these guys end up out and one of them's in, somehow we got like Jaden Hardy starting or something like that, I'd be in on some Jaden Hardy. So we just got to wait, see what happens with this news. I think AD right now is the clear spot if you want to play someone, and wait and see what happens with the guard play. The Toronto side is definitely the more intriguing side right now in this game. And it's because like they've got a few guys that I think are just, really solid plays. AJ Lawson, Jonathan Magba are definitely both solid plays here. And then this Jared Rodon kid, or Rodon, however you say his name, he's questionable for this game. But if he plays, he's actually like good too. So I would like him a little bit if he's in there. So those are the 3 top guys from Toronto, and I think all 3 of them are honestly good plays. I probably wouldn't play all 3 of them together, but 2 probably max from this team. And I'd probably make the same rule with Dallas, like max 2, even if like a bunch of those guards are out.
Yeah, I'm with you. And JSU, put respect on Jaron Rodon's name. He went to my alumni, Seton Hall. So, he's like the one Seton Hall guy.
He's a hooper.
Yeah, him and I think Mamu Seton Hall as well. There's not many, but Mr. Jared Roten, he could be in play, certainly. Magbo, definitely a good play. We need all the actually, I should go through the news on this game for you guys. Let me do that first before I keep going at it. But Agbaji in, Barnes in, Barrett out, Boucher in. Lawson has a note. He signed a 2-year contract. Portal quickly out, Roden questionable, Sheed in, and then Walter out. So all around, their main guys are Magba. I think he's my favorite play, followed by whoever the starting guards are, like a Lawson or Sheed or a Roden, just depends who starts. Battle could be interesting as well. And then I don't know, if a Boucher randomly started, maybe I'd have interest, but
they hate him. He ain't starting.
I know, he's probably not, but if he because they hate him.
It just makes Magba better, though, because they hate him.
I mean, yeah, if that's the case and like Boucher doesn't even start, like it could just be like, load up on Magba, right? I mean, Magba could be like arguably one of the best plays in the slate. Like you could
Are we
easily.
expecting him to start?
I am. Yeah, I mean, who else would start?
Boucher?
But if he doesn't start, then we know they just clearly hate him so much that he's probably only going to get his normal, you know, 10 to 12 minutes or max 18. And yeah, it'll be Magba's season for 32 to 40 minutes. And I have some interest in that. So he could definitely be a core play by the time we get to that game. And I kind of with you, JC. Like, I don't need to have Magba, Rodin, and Lawson, right? Like
No.
Max 2's fine. I'm kind of with you on that. All right, next game to discuss. We're breezing through this. We got 2 games left, and we're got 10 minutes left, so we're doing good on time. Brooklyn Nets, Minnesota Timberwolves. They're clearly missing guys. I'll go through the injury stuff here on this game. It is. I gotta scroll up. I can't find it. Why is it not here on BBM?
I'm with Brett, by the way, too. They hate him.
No, they do. You're 100% right. He hasn't. It's just kind of like a standard thing I feel like I've said over the years, and it's like stuck in my brain to just say with Boucher. But I don't know why we do not have news on BBM on this. I guess there's not that much news. Maybe that's why. But here's the guys that are likely going to play on the Nets. Timmy, Watford, Keon Johnson. Those are kind of like guys that'll get, they'll get some run. The highest owned guy in this game is Timmy. He's only center eligible. I think this is a terrible game to get exposure to. Starting lineups maybe could change your opinion a little bit on it, but I'm not interested. Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm interested in Ant. They got to win this game, right? We talked about seedings. Those matter. When it comes to the Minnesota Timberwolves and seeding, they could be the 4, 5, 6, 7, or the 8 seed. So they got to win this game. They won a game yesterday against Memphis, which was huge because that actually helps them. So they can't blow it against the Brooklyn Nets. They're going to play their guys. Ant, Randall, Gobert, they're all solid, but I don't want to go too crazy with them. Ant, I'm okay to load up on, but the rest of them, I'm just going to be a little careful with. So for me, it's really Ant and move on from this game, JSU. Are you kind of in a similar situation?
Yeah, Ant and Julius Randle, I think, are the only 2 plays I would look at. I do think this is a matchup that Julius could have a big game in, but definitely those 2 guys. It's probably a blowout. Minnesota needs this game. Brooklyn, they're trying to lose, so I expect Minnesota to get up early and finish this team off pretty quickly. So, yeah, it's just a matter of do they get there at their price tags, Mangone. I think it's clearly the stars. I don't want the cheapies on either side. So, yeah, I loved Ant last night. I think he's fine again here. I just think once they get up, he's going to coast. So I'm probably not going to play as much Ant as I did yesterday, but, he's fine if you want to get up to him.
Sure. With you on that. You loved him yesterday. I liked him too. Yeah, today it's not like as good of a smash spot for sure. I'm going to get to this last game, JC. There's a lot to talk about playoff-wise. So for one, it sounds like the Grizzlies didn't check into Denver till 4 a.m., and it's the second night of a high-stakes back-to-back, so people are probably not believing in them. Also, Nuggets, they're in a situation where I don't think a lot of people believe in them because of how bad their defense is. These are 2 teams that play terrible amount of defense. It's a massive total. They're going to be trying really hard. Another stat, the Nuggets, they'll remain the 4th seed in the West if they beat the Grizzlies tonight. However, a loss could throw them to the play-in as the 8th seed. So this is a very big game for them. I think Jokic is the best play of the slate. Obviously, center position matters. If Jokic goes for 70 and 2 other centers go for 50, that might be a better combination. But I want to play Jokic. I think he's going to absolutely dominate. We'll do the injury stuff, and then we'll keep talking about this game. Injuries for Memphis and Denver. Jamal Murray's questionable. I'm assuming he sits, but maybe he just kind of shows up for this game because it's a playoff game. I don't know. And then we got Poland. He's out for Memphis. So that's the main situation here for Memphis and Denver. Not a ton of injury stuff, but the Jamal Murray stuff does matter. Ja Morant, 9K. Maybe he'll be throwing some grenades tonight. I do think he's in play tonight. Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, all the studs, they're in play for me. The mid-tier guys, like the Aaron Gordons, the Christian Brauns. I saw someone in the chat saying they want to load up on Christian Braun. They're fine, but they're not priorities, Jay. So I know they're going to play a lot of minutes, but I don't know exactly what to do with like the MPJs and all them. So for me, it's mainly the studs. Maybe you can talk me out of some of these mid-tier plays, but I'm really just looking at Jokic, Morant, and the spend-up options.
Yeah, I mean, project Jokic for 80 and move on. He's going to smash. He does not want to be anywhere near the situation that they would be in. So he wants to win. He doesn't even want to think about playing, right, man, going like, no way. So I expect Denver to get this game done. So yeah, Jokic is going to be in all my lineups. John Morant, I think, is a good bring back too. I think John Jokic lineups are solid tonight. Christian Brown or Brown, however you say his name. I think he's one of those guys, like, I'm not forcing him in, but if I landed in a mid-tier spot for like my last spot, man, going, I'd be cool with Christian Brown, like in my lineups.
Sure.
I really like the way he plays, especially without Murray, him and Jokic playing together. He's definitely improved a ton. So yeah, I don't like have as much of an issue with it as yours, but I don't view him also as like a priority either. It's just like if I fall on it, I'm fine with it. The other guy, I will say, like, because there's no defense here, like Ja or Bane, like I do think one of those guys probably has a big game. So if you want like no ownership, I assume Ja's going to get some ownership at least. Maybe not like a ton, but like Bane's probably going to get no ownership. So if you did go to like a Bane here as opposed to a Ja, you'll probably be different. But it's the studs really that I want in this game. We've got the value teams, the Torontos, the New Orleans, the Indiana Pacers, the Orlando Magic. We got our value teams. This is the game we want the studs, man, going. We want the studs in these late games. They're going to crush.
Yep, I agree. We want the studs here. Definitely want to load up on them. They're really good plays. All right, JC, we got 3 minutes till the end of the show, so we'll give out our plays of the day. We'll obviously mention, hey, if you want to sign up and be a member to get all the content we got, especially if you've been here for the last week and you're not a member and you've been printing, Sunday you ain't going to have a show, right? But we'll be hanging out in the Discord chat. We'll have a playbook. We'll break it down for you guys. So great reason to sign up. And then, of course, roll right into the playoffs, so which I can't wait for. Hopefully we'll see you in the chat talking about playoffs a ton. But JC, play of the day. I have a guess of who yours is, but I don't know. There's a lot of options today. But who do you got? Who is your play of the day?
There's a lot of options, man. And I went back and forth, like, do I want to just give like a easy value play? Do I want to give an easy stud? But it's the last play of the day. I don't want to give like a complete easy layup and stuff like that. I'm going to go with a guy who I don't think I'm not going to say he's a layup. I think he's in a really good spot, and it's really just blowout risk could get to him. His price does look a little up there, I will say, but I think it is just a smash spot for Bam Adebayo, and I don't think his ownership is going to really reflect that. When I saw 12-man going, I was kind of like, that seems even a little high. I don't even think it hits that. I think he's going to be under. I think he's going to be just under 10%.
And he's power forward eligible, right? Which I think matters.
He's power forward eligible. So he checks that box, just like Ant checked that box yesterday with the shooting guard eligibility when we had so many point guards. He checks this box today. So give me Bam Adebayo as my lower owned stud on this slate. And don't forget, too, we got the baseball show coming up. I think they just are about to go live now. So you can go from this show right to the baseball show. We got the MMA show tomorrow. If you're playing DFS or betting for that card, that big card tomorrow, that's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. Me, JBC, and Dan will be breaking that card down for you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time for the big pay-per-view. So check us out tomorrow.
Yeah, good calls there, JSU. All right, I'm gonna get to my play. I gave out the chalk yesterday. I gave out Reeves. I didn't care. Ended up being on a winner, so I'm gonna give out another chalk play. You like him a lot. I like him a lot, and he's not even the highest owned guy on his team. JSU, we said it. Goga, Patatse. I thought you were gonna give him, so I'm gonna take him. And
that was the layup I was thinking about giving. I didn't want to give the layup. I gave the layup to you, man. Going. I passed the rock to you. I gave you the layup.
JSU, JSU, I made a layup yesterday. I'm going to make one today. And you know what? When you shoot 15 for 20, like Zachariah Ricochet, they don't say, "Oh, he made a bunch of layups." You make those 3-pointers here and there. Maybe I'll find a 3-point shot on Sunday for the Discord chat to close out the season strong and go 15 for 20, like Mr. Zachariah Ricochet. All right. We do have one thing, JSU. We need Big T on the MMA show. That is a demand from the chat. You are the schedule maker, so I will throw it to you.
I'll tell you this right now. I got no issues with Big T being on the show. I just don't think he's going to show up. So if you want him on the show, though, get on him. You're in the Discord. Get on his ass. DM him. Add him in the MMA chat. Say, Big T, we want you on the show. We want the winners. He holds out sometimes, or maybe he doesn't like the show as much. Maybe we need Big T on it, but I don't know. I think it's a long shot, man. Going. I think he's a little scared. I don't know if he wants to smoke. I'll just say that.
I don't think he's scared, JSU. I know this. So if you are a member and you DM him, and if you stroke him enough, he loves. He loves it.
Yeah.
If you get in his DMs and you go, man. JSU gives great content, but I love Big T on the MMA show, man. I need to see you. You got to own Johnny. You'll get him on there, I think. So, Mateus, and here's the other thing.
I'll tell you right now, dude. I've asked him multiple times, so it's not like he would do it. Like, let's say that there were some guys that couldn't make the show, then he would do it. You know what I mean? Like, if I asked him, but like, it's a lot harder if everyone's there and he's like, we already got 3 guys going on. I don't want to like be the 4th, but maybe if you hound him enough, he'll do it.
Yeah. Also, JSU, you can attest to this. I can attest to this. Big T, you have to ask a couple times. You have to send a couple phone calls. He doesn't always respond right away. It's not you, it's him. It's a him problem, not a you problem. I promise.
100%. 100%. I mean, he'll respond to me. He'll just... it'll just be like, yeah, maybe, maybe. If a bunch of people start adding them in the chat, though, saying, we need you on the show, Big T, blah, 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 stroking them up a little bit, like Mangone said, give him a nice little stroke when you ask. I think he might cave,
You gotta pick your battles with JSU, not with JSU, with Big T. So you got to make sure when you send the initial message, you got to stroke it good. Like, you got to make sure he has interest in responding back. It can't just be any bullshit stuff. So he's a busy man, of course. So he's the boss man, as JSU likes to say. So there you go.
Busy man, boss man, big boss man.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up for us. The plays of the day were Bam Adebayo, Goga Batate, and play Jokic and fill out the rest of your lineup with all the great values throughout the slate. That's going to wrap it up for us. Thanks a lot for joining us on the show. For me, Mangone, and JSU, we'll see you guys later.